What's up, everybody? It is Matt Modi with OddsJam, and for this video, I'm talking Duke versus UNC. Final Four matchup. Of course, it's only fitting that in Coach K's final year, after losing at home to North Carolina, that they meet in the Final Four with a chance of a championship on the line, chance to advance to the championship. So, the storylines in this game are just, there aren't enough storylines in the world that you can talk about for this game. Coach K's last year, the first meeting of Duke and North Carolina in the tournament. Roy Williams, first year retired. Hubie Davis coaching North Carolina. Not even mentioning UNC as an 8 seed advancing to the Final Four. Had some pretty bad blowout losses earlier this year. Duke being one of them. They lost. Wake Forest being another. But UNC found their stride. Really came together pretty much since that win in Durham against Duke, Coach K's final home game. UNC's just been like a completely different team. So looking at this game, it's going to be incredible. I'm really excited for it. And yeah, I don't know. We'll get to the analysis and all that stuff, but just initial thoughts is just very, very exciting. But before I get into the analysis, the one thing I want to talk about is just the OddsJam Partner Program. If you check the link in the description, you'll see a link for it there. It's we like to call it the easiest side hustle ever. Pretty much all you need to do is just, hopefully you watching this have been using OddsJam. If not, sign up for a free trial. And you have been cashing using OddsJam. And all you need to do for the free trial is just refer a friend or two or 100. And every payment they make to OddsJam, you will get paid for. So that's why we call it the easiest side hustle ever. You can join the OddsJam team and you can start cashing with us. But looking at this game, you got to start on the Duke side of it, right? There were a lot of people, myself included, that I was not high on Duke making a run to the Final Four. I thought they had a really tough bracket. Gonzaga was in their bracket. Texas Tech, I thought, was going to beat Duke. And I really thought Arkansas had a chance to beat Duke as well. Obviously, I was wrong, and Duke really came together in the tournament. The biggest problem for them all year was they had the talent, but they needed a point guard to really set the offense. They never really ran set plays. It was just they tried to out-athletic and out-talent people, and that worked majority of the time, but I didn't think it would work against a well-coached defense like Texas Tech or Arkansas. I was incredibly wrong. Duke also going to the zone against Texas Tech changed that game. Their defense looked great against Arkansas as well, and if you're just going off of pure talent, Duke is probably the best team left. Definitely the best team left. Probably the best team in NCAA just in terms of pure talent. Starting with Paolo Banchero, presumptive number 1 or top 5 pick. Duke's best player, Duke's most talented player. But they also have Wendell Moore Jr., who's very good. They have Roach, who is really kind of taking the mantle as a pure point guard. Just the speed on him is impossible to stop, and he's also a dog, really tenacious defensively. So UNC is going to have their hands full going against this Duke team. I don't foresee this being another blowout like it was in Coach K's home game. But, despite being an 8 seed, North Carolina has an incredible, really talented, balanced roster. Excuse me. Their leading scorer was Armando Bacot on the year, and they've had leading scorers in all 4 different games. They've had different leading scorers. Against Baylor, it was Brady Manick who went off, and then when he was out, it was R.J. Davis, and then against UCLA, it was Caleb Love, and then against St. Peter's, that game was such a blowout from the beginning. They didn't really need anybody to step up, but the whole roster looked good, and they were the first team to really frazzle St. Peter's, which Purdue wasn't able to do, Kentucky wasn't able to do, Murray State wasn't able to do. A lot of that, Murray State missed some open shots that they were making in the other games, but UNC looked really good. They had a slow start on offense, but they really came on at the end. So it's hard to take too much out of that game just because it was such a blowout from the start. St. Peter's didn't score for the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, maybe a little bit less, but UNC started on like a 7-0 run, and that was the closest the game got, right? Like they started 7-0. St. Peter's hit a 3 to make it 7-3. And then UNC, that game was pretty much double digits and then not close from there. So finally, the 15-seeded St. Peter's really came back to bite them. But looking at this game, as you can see, it's no surprise that Duke is the heavy favorite. You can get them or the OddsJam perfect line, I should say, prices them at -208. Prices UNC at +181. And there's really no value on UNC money line. All the value's on Duke, and I agree with that, right? I mean, if you're going to bet, if you think Duke's going to win, and I do, sneak preview, it makes sense to hop on their money line or spread now, because I would imagine they're just going to get more and more bet as the week goes on. So getting them at minus 195 on DraftKings or WinBet, I don't hate. Looking at the spread, most books have Duke at 4.5-point favorites. WinBet has them at minus 4, so if you want to bet the spread, I definitely recommend doing so on WinBet. And then, you can there's really no value other than that. It's getting Duke minus 4 is the best value. And I like that. I mean, I think I could see this game being a blowout. I hope it's not. I hope it's close, but I wouldn't be surprised if Duke blew them out. And then looking at the total, it's pretty high total of 151, according to the OddsJam perfect line. And this game went over this total the first time these two teams played. The last game they played, Coach K's final home game. But since then, both defenses have really stepped up. UNC's offense is good, so I really don't want to touch the total too much because, Duke's defense has stepped up, as has their offense, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those games where the defenses step up and scoring's hard to come by. I think it's more likely that there's a ton of scoring, so if you want to take the over, take it at 150 on DraftKings and WinBet. But for me, I'm leaning towards just taking Duke money line. I don't want to mess with the spread, especially in a game as important as this. UNC is not going to go down without a fight. So I could see if Duke's up by 10 with a minute left, I could see UNC still trying to make it a game and end up being a backdoor cover, something like that. So I do think Duke wins. It's only fitting that he gets revenge against UNC and makes it to the finals in his final year coaching. So I'm going to ride with Duke. I'm going to put my big bet on Duke, and all I'm doing now is just adding it to my bet tracker. Something that OddsJam offers free. You don't need to put down a credit card. Just need to make an account, and you can use the bet tracker, track your bets, and it auto grades them for you, which is a great tool. So that's my official bet. I am sadly taking Duke money line. You can hit me up on Twitter at my handle below. Let me know what you thought of my analysis. You can also comment on the video and provide your feedback that way. Other than that, would appreciate a like on the video and subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. And that is all I got for you. So thanks for watching and have a good one.